I'm Hugh Acheson, and we're gonna cook a steak. We're gonna properly cook a steak. So I've got a large cast iron skillet. This is a 10-inch skillet. It's high enough just to really be able to baste. It's over medium-high heat. I've got these amazingly beautiful Snake River Farms American Wagyu. This is a fillet of ribeye. So it's the interior of the ribeye, almost like the eye of the ribeye. I've got Jacobsen salt, so really good sea salt. I've got unsalted butter, vegetable oil, a little bit of olive oil to finish the plate later on. And then I've just got fresh herbs. In this case, I've got rosemary and fresh thyme. I have a knife. I have a cutting board. I have two plates because this is my raw plate and this is my cooked plate. The cooked steak's gonna go onto here to rest out and relax. And then I have this, which is my spatula, which is also a spoon, which is also a basting device. So let's get started. We're gonna season the steaks really well. Just with sea salt. You could add pepper if you like, but in this case I would add pepper later. Then I'm gonna add about half a tablespoon of vegetable oil to that, and that's just canola oil. And as soon as the oil really races around the pan, but really before it begins to smoke, we're gonna add our steaks. I just push down a little bit to get an even sear. These steaks are about 1.5 inches, 1.25 to 1.5 inches thick. For a mid-rare, they're gonna cook for 4 minutes. I'm gonna turn them. We're gonna cook them 2 more minutes, then we're gonna introduce butter and baste for 2 minutes with the herb. I'm just turning them by getting the oil in the bottom of the pan and lifting them up and turning them. So right now we've got that beautiful crust. These are just beautiful fresh herbs. This is thyme and rosemary. And we're going to introduce a pretty substantial amount of butter to finish. I'm going to lower the heat down to medium at this point. And then I'm going to take my pan and I'm just going to tilt it a little bit. And I'm going to take this basting spoon and just baste over these. And that butter is just going to enrich those steaks and just make sure they're super tender. The steak really needs to rest for a long period of time once it's out of the pan. So we're going to complete this last 2 minutes, get it onto just a clean plate for resting, and then the steak's going to rest for about 5 to 6 minutes before I slice it. If you don't let a steak rest, you're going to cut into it and you'll have a massive pool of blood and you'll cry a little American Wagyu tear. It's not good. Don't do that. So we're going to go through and just baste it again before we remove them from the pan. You want to, all that butter is just going into it. This gives it that nuttiness because the butter's solids have browned at this point. What's that? What's that, America? You can feel how well done the beef is, but different beef has different textures. We used to always learn this little game of putting your fingers together and then feeling the tension on your hand, and I wouldn't trust that. So those are gonna rest, ambient temperature, room temperature, for 5 minutes. We're looking for the grain, and you see the grain going across, and we wanna go perpendicular to the grain. So we're gonna slice like that, and this is what we're looking for. We're looking for that striation of fat that's just beautifully tender, that marbling that's so wonderful in American Kobe beef. And I'm just gonna slice it, and we're gonna lay it on the plate really, really straightforward. But this is steak. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. I'm gonna garnish with just a little bit of salt. Again, I like my steak to be really well seasoned. I've got just a little bit of fresh thyme. I'm just squeezing over. And then I've got a really nice olive oil. This to me is a classic mid-rare. It's just going to have a little hint of warmth in the center. It's definitely not raw. It's definitely not rare. It's mid-rare. It's pink all the way through with a little tinge of beautiful redness in the center. It's just really well rested. You see that the color all went back to the exterior, an even sheen to it. And it's just showing off its marbling, and it's just so full flavored like this. And this is what you want, so you need to rest it. You need to sear it on that beautiful medium-high heat in a heavy pan like a Lodge cast iron. And you just need to really baste that out and ensure it's really beautiful texture. And then that resting is critical, cutting against the grain is critical, but that's it. This is not rocket science, it's cooking a good steak.